I'd say get on your phones and watch this episode of Movies America Live, but that would kind of go against the message of today's movie. Good luck, have fun, don't die. Sam Rockwell plays a future man that tells present day people that the world has been turned into a hellscape in the future for being on their phones and on social media too much. I'm sure he'd make an exception for this show, though, for I carry his message today on Movies America Live.
In a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies America.
All right, happy Sunday, everybody out there. Welcome to this latest episode of Movies America Live. As always, I am your host, Van Ebert, aka Movies America, and welcome all my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics here as we go off the rails on a crazy train. Ooh, that's kind of catchy. Should write a song about that. But today, I say that because today we're going to be going and talking about this new movie called Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Okay? And this one stars Sam Rockwell as a future man. And this is a movie where it kind of has a message to it, just a wee bit of a message. But I'll let you know if that messaging in this Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die movie is something where you can just kind of get on board because it's all packaged in an entertaining little presentation, or if it's just going to give you a migraine because it's really annoying and preachy and hits you over the head too much and all of that good stuff right there. But and I should mention that this movie is directed by Gore Verbinski, and you guys might know that name, Gore Verbinski, because he directed The Ring. If you remember that one, that was the scary movie with the creepy little girl coming out of the TV and out of the well, and she gets her hands on you. It's over with, pal. All right, say bye bye to your life right there. And then also he directed the original Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy with Johnny Depp. Before Amber Heard was throwing bottles at him and crapping in his bed. And so he did the first three movies, first three Pirates movies there, of course, with Orlando Bloom and the always eye-catching Keira Knightley. And then also he did Rango, and of course, he did the old Bud Light Frogs commercials, of course.
Bud Wise. Bud Wise. Bud.
So that was, I think, that might have got him the job on some of his early movies right there. Like, you know what? I don't care what movie we do next. I want the guy who did the Budweiser Frogs commercials. That's what I want. Yeah, I don't want the guy who did the what's that Bud Light commercials. I want the Budweiser Frogs video guy. That's who I want right there. So, but the plot to this movie here is it starts off with here, and I'm not going to give away the whole plot because I'm not trying to spoil the movie there or anything like that. But the plot of the movie has Sam Rockwell playing this future guy, future man, showing up at this diner, Norm's Diner, which is a real life diner. I think they have multiple locations in California. But he shows up. He's looking all goofy. You'll see here. I'm going to play the trailer here in a minute. But you'll see he's looking all goofy and weird and just out there and hardly looking like a guy that someone would take seriously. Okay, he's not, in some three-piece suit, all dappered up and looking all official with a briefcase and an earpiece and oh, we better listen to this guy over here, honey. This guy, man, he's got something to say. Like, no, this guy, he's out there, man. He is whacked out of his mind on whatever. Okay, that's what he looks like in this movie. But so he comes into this diner and he's like, "Hey, everybody, I'm from the future," which is always a great way, to start off with to get people to really listen to you and communicate to them that you're a very, very serious person. But he just says that, "Hey, everyone, get off your phones. Stop, being hypnotized by these phones. It's gonna, cause the world to be this hellscape there. It's just gonna basically turn into, like the urban version, urban areas of Detroit, basically. Okay, but worse. Okay, if you can believe that. But so and he's warning them, and of course, all the people in the diner are like, "Shut up! Call the cops! I want to eat my pancakes in peace. All right, just shut this dork up." And he goes out there, and he finally reveals he's got like a bomb on him, and if they don't do what he says, then he's going to detonate this bomb there, which is a very good way to make a persuasive argument right there. So unless like you're an Islamic terrorist or something like that, but they don't really bother trying to like just convince you of anything. They just walk into a coffee shop and just detonate their vest right there. So no debates, no conversation, no dialogue. They just boom detonate that thing. But not in this movie. Sam Rockwell's like, "Hey, I'm not going to detonate this unless if you do what I say, I'm not going to detonate this." And so again, like he's trying to convince them that if they stay on their phones, and they don't get off them, for decades or years or whatever, then yeah, the world turns into a hellscape. And he also needs to recruit fighters to go out this very night and fight this battle in order to prevent an event happening this very night. Okay, to stop the future apocalypse. If they stop this thing tonight, then they stop the apocalypse and the world doesn't become a hellscape and that kind of thing. All of that stuff. So that's as much of the plot as I'm going to give away here, right there. So I'm just going to give you a little taste, okay? And this movie, it reminded me of other movies here, like 12 Monkeys and Time Bandits from Terry Gilliam, Groundhog Day. Groundhog Day even gets a mention in this movie. Steven Spielberg's AI, the movie Crash, the one that won the Academy Award for Best Picture, back in 2005. You got Don't Look Up, the Leo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence movie. Of course, The Matrix, Looper, They Live, the one with Roddy Piper in it. Edge of Tomorrow. I mean, it takes a lot from a lot of movies here. But as promised, let me play a little trailer, a very brief trailer here of the movie to kind of give you a better idea as far as what this movie is.
Good luck, have fun, don't die.
Excuse me?
It's a greeting, like hello or goodbye. Like aloha, I guess.
So as you can tell, the movie has a little bit of playfulness to it. It's not trying to be all ultra serious or anything like that. It's not trying to be Schindler's List, anything like that right there. So, but it does have a message to it there. And again, as I said before, as I'm going through my review here, you'll be able to tell whether I was down with the message. If I was picking up what they were putting down in this right here. So. But real quick here, what I am going to remind you guys that you don't just have to listen to me talk about this movie here. You can participate here because that's one of the perks of this show being live. Okay, you can get the live chat, and if I'm talking about this movie and I have some take on this movie or any movie, and you're like, what is this guy talking about, man? What, this guy's dead wrong. I mean, if I look up the definition of wrong in the dictionary, this guy's picture is going to be in it right there. Or if you want to give me crap about anything else, then yeah, get in the live chat and get in there and let me have it, okay? Or, hell, you can live chat about whatever you want ultimately there. But it all starts with, you go into the chat or live chat button, which is down there somewhere. Okay, it's either the button's going to say chat or live chat, something like that. And then you get in the window, and then down at the bottom of the live chat window is where you can type in your message. And if you want to make it something as simple as like putting a poop emoji in there, or just saying "Hey" or something like that, that's totally cool. All right, you don't need to be a chatty Cathy in the live chat if you don't want to. If you want to, by all means, chat away. But that's if you want to get interactive with this show right here, because hey, sometimes I'm not above droning on, and if you want to kind of break that up and get in the live chat and just say, hey, Van, tell me something about this movie. Like I've got a question about this movie you're talking about today, or hey, have you seen this movie there, Van, or something like that. So by all means, you can do whatever you want up in there. But just wanted to let you guys know about that, and also to let you know that I'm going to get a drink off my beer here. So there you go. There we go. And we'll be talking about this beer in more detail later on here. Of course, during the brew review time that I do on every Movies America episode there, if I could stammer that out. And then also, hey, drink up if you got them there, because technically it is still the weekend. And that's one of the perks of this show, or that's what you're supposed to be doing during this show, is just kicking back, relaxing, all right, and having a beer or a Cosmo or a glass of champagne or a Diet Pepsi or whatever you're drinking there, and relax while I tell you whether this movie is a movie where you should not walk but sprint to the theater, or you could just drive, I guess, or if you should stay as far away as possible from this movie. And so, to that end here, I consider this movie in the same genre as Don't Look Up, where it's a message movie wrapped in a satirical metaphor. But Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die has a message about an actual real threat, not the imagined threat made up by and messaged to us by elites of climate change, global warming, searching for man, bear, pig, whatever you want to call it. That Don't Look Up movie self-satisfyingly is a woke after school special for. Now, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die deals with something that we can actually see. I mean, we see people being turned from normal toast eating, car driving, laundry doing human beings into screeching, nose ringed, pink haired, flannel adorned, Subaru driving, law hating, demonic dum dums just by doom scrolling through their preferred social media platform 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. This phenomenon is so ubiquitous that we can't help but give Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die a knowing nod when Sam Rockwell's Man from the Future starts proclaiming about, the hellish future that everyone becomes obsessed with, or everyone being obsessed with their rectangular glass, plastic, and metal overlord will produce. We see it every day for real. I mean, dorks become orcs, housewives become screeching banshees from psycho hives. In spite of my obvious agreement, though, with the point this movie is trying to make, it doesn't really do a good job at showing what this future hellscape looks like. And there's a kind of a brief images here and there, but just doesn't really just really drive it home. We're just left to assume that this future hellscape looks like some kind of hodgepodge combination of slummy Detroit, Chicago, LA, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Minneapolis, cranked up to 11. I'll take Future Man's word for it that it's not pretty, though. I mean, but that being said, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die didn't quite stick the landing to me. Okay, it just driving home the point in an impactful enough way. Okay, like a Olympic gymnast with a bad knee. Just didn't stick the landing there. Okay, if I was an Olympic judge, I'd give this like a 2.4 out of 10. I think is that the scale? I'm guessing. I don't know, for Olympic judges and gymnastics and all that. I don't know. Who knows? Hey, if you know, hey, get in a live chat. Let me know there. But yeah, that and that might be. I mean, this whole it's not sticking a landing. That might be the inherent flaw of packaging this message within a comedy. A comedy, it inherently just provides like too many giggly pressure release valves, to really build up the sense of urgency right there. Just it prevents building up that sense of urgency. That spot, where you're watching a movie and it's trying to show you a message, trying to teach you a lesson, so to speak, and it's just so stressful, and you're like, man, I'm getting the message, but this is so stressful. I got one foot in the frying pan, one foot in the pressure cooker, and my stomach kind of feels like an overstuffed vacuum bag. And I stole that line from a movie. And if you know what movie I stole that line from, let me know in the live chat right there. Okay, so your clue is it stars Woody Harrelson. There you go. But yeah, I'm just so disappointed about this movie and how it didn't stick the landing there, that I'm going to get on my cell phone and I'm going to blog about it on X for 18 straight hours today. I mean, that's how disappointed I am there. So I'm telling you, that's what it's going to take right there. I swear to God. All right, here, let's move on. Okay, let me just remind you here real quick here, and I won't take up too much time on this, but just want to remind you that there is this thing called the like button that's right on down there. You can click on the like button here if you're liking this show. And also down there, while we're talking about clicking buttons and all that stuff, you can go ahead and click on the follow or subscribe button. That's also down there. Again, only if you haven't already. And then there's the notification bell down there that does exactly like what it sounds like. It'll just notify you via one lowly email. Okay, just one. This one. I'm not going to spam the heck out of your inbox. Not going to do that because I hate it when they do that. Like you get spam with all those emails about how, hey, would you like to increase your size? Do you worry about ED? And to that, I'm like, how do you know? No, anyway, but I don't. The point is, I don't like getting spammed, so I'm not going to spam you with Movies America emails. That would be very, very low of me there. But that's all that notification bell button does right there. Now, only click on it if you haven't already, if you would. So, and then this is directed really quickly. All right, we're going to move on really quickly here. But this is directed at the people that are watching the video here, but they're not watching it live. They're watching a recording of it. If you're like, man, I really want a way to tell this guy that I really agree with him, or I think that his take about this movie is a pile of garbage, or whatever. Well, hey, you still have an outlet to do that with here, and that is the comment section that is down below. Okay, and you can comment down there. Let me know. Hey, man, Van, you suck. You suck at this show. This is terrible. Don't quit your day job. Or you can let me know, Van, you are the purpose. You are the reason the internet was invented. You're so good at this, man. Can I start a fan club for you? The answer to that is yes, if you want. So, or maybe you have a meh little comment right in the middle there, or maybe you just want to like recommend a movie for me to review. I take those suggestions there as well. Okay, but that's enough about that right there. Let's move on. All right, we got some more. Good luck. Have fun. Don't die to talk about here. But I'm going to take another tug off my beer here. So, because this is hard work, just slaving over a hot Movies America stove in the kitchen, all barefoot and pregnant. So, there we go. I got to stay hydrated. All right, there we go. And again, like I said, drink them if you got them right there, okay? But I gotta say that some of the performances in this movie are noticeable. I mean, they're all right. I wouldn't really say that any of the performances in this movie are like just, oh my God, but give them the Oscar right now. No, I'm not going to say that here, but some of them are serviceable here. And let's start off with Sam Rockwell. Now, he could do a part like this in his sleep. If you've seen, any number of Sam Rockwell movies, he's really good at playing kind of the smarmy, subversive, quick, like quick-witted kind of character out there like that. I kind of remember him as Justin Hammer in Iron Man 2. He's kind of like that. And then also Galaxy Quest, that kind of thing. But he's at his funniest when he's trying to recruit fellow soldiers for the cause at the diner in this movie. And his character just doesn't care because, as he says, he's been at this Norm's diner 116 times already, doing this whole thing, giving this same speech and also recruiting for the battle. And he does a play on the scene in Groundhog Day, where Bill Murray goes around that diner and tells people things about them that a stranger couldn't possibly know. Because remember that scene in Groundhog Day where he's trying to convince Andy McDowell that he's living the same day over and over again here, and the only thing he could think of to convince her of that is that he goes around and just talks to random people there at the diner and says, what their favorite movie is, and this guy went to this high school and all that stuff right there. And so there's kind of a scene. There's a scene that's kind of like that in this movie right there here. And Sam Rockwell, he's got some killer one-liners in this. Rockwell has been one of my favorite actors ever since he played Wild Bill way back in The Green Mile in 1999. Because, he made an impact in that movie because Wild Bill, he was a sick, twisted, evil character in that movie. And he gave the characters in that movie the business, with Tom Hanks and David Morse and all the other, the prison guards there in The Green Mile. And then since then, he's been great in Galaxy Quest, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. That's the one where he played Chuck Barris from the Gong Show there. But the whole premise of Confessions of a Dangerous Mind is Chuck Barris wasn't just the host of the Gong Show. He was like a secret CIA agent or something. So then, he was in the underrated Moon movie there, which, who was that? I'm trying to think of the guy that directed Duncan, let's say Duncan Hopkins or something like that. But the Moon's pretty good. It's like he's up on the moon and he's like watching over this space station up on the moon or something like that. It's a slow burn. It's a low budget movie, but it's worth it to watch. It has a heck of a twist, the kind of twist that M. Night Shyamalan would be jealous of there. And then also the movie that he won an Oscar for, Three Billboards Outside of Ebbing, Missouri, where he plays, the not too bright, deputy or, cop or whatever his position was in that. And then also he's in a pretty good kind of lighthearted comedy called Mr. Right with, I think, Anna Kendrick, I think he was in that movie with there. And then another performance that's in this movie that I kind of took note of is there's Haley Lou Richardson, who I think is kind of an up-and-coming actress here. And she plays, I guess, what I would term like an emo princess in this dilapidated princess dress, looking straight up like Courtney Love. Okay, so just warning, if you look anything like Kurt Cobain, stay away because she might have another shotgun there. But her character is named Ingrid, and Ingrid is somehow allergic to technology. Literally, I mean, like if someone busts out a cell phone or some AI goggles or VR goggles, whatever you want to call them, she gets the willies, and her nose, might start bleeding there. Sort of like me when someone starts playing the Spice Girls like somewhere within my zip code. All right, and then Ingrid, eventually she meets a guy who also doesn't like technology so much that he uses an old-fashioned paper map in his job as a pizza delivery guy on his motorcycle. So they end up falling in love, but eventually something sad happens. So hence, her heavy emo vibes when she's sitting alone in a booth at that Norm's diner there. When what's his face, when the future man, because you never get Sam Rockwell's name in this. He's just the future guy, right? And then also there's another performance by Juno Temple, or let me say it again, Juno Temple. And Juno Temple isn't bad as a mother of a boy who was killed during a school shooting, and she makes you really feel for her and the sadness and the shock she's feeling. And Juno Temple has been in some gonzo out there movies before this. I mean, one that just quickly comes to mind is the movie Killer Joe with her and Matthew McConaughey. And Killer Joe was directed by William Friedkin, the same guy who made The Exorcist and The French Connection and To Live and Die in L.A. And Juno Temple, she gets to play somewhat normal in this, but what is normal in a funhouse mirror of a movie like Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die? I mean, this movie is out there. It's beyond. And again, like I said, it kind of reminds me of 12 Monkeys, by Terry Gilliam there, where that movie is just like just out there, just crazy, crazy times. And that can work out well for a movie, or it can work against it. Yes, never, never, never know. There you go. All right. Well, you know what? This beer that I have over here, it's kind of giving me the side eye. And so I think that it is trying to give me a not so subtle hint that I should do this next segment, which we all affectionately here at Movies America Incorporated call Brew Review Time. All righty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let me show you today's brew for Brew Review Time. And this is some Truth in Action West Coast style IPA. And it's brewed by a company called Central Waters Brewing Company out of Wisconsin. I think it's out of Milwaukee, to be honest, right there. And truth has it, the rumor has it that, you can get some pretty decent brew up in Wisconsin, along with some pretty decent cheese and that kind of thing. Not so good NFL teams up there, but the brew and the cheese is supposed to be pretty good up there as well. But yes, it's India Pale Ale. It's an IPA, so it's gonna be on more of the bitter side there. So I forgot to look up the IBU on this. That stands for International Bitterness Units. Basically, it's a measurement of like how bitter it is. And some people like bitter beer. Some people can't stand it. All right, they run as far away from it as possible, right there. But this has heavy hop notes of citrus and grapefruit, supported by like a light cracker style kind of malt base to it there. All right, and again, don't let my descriptions of this beer like dissuade you from drinking it. All right, here it's I know I'm kind of like I think about it and I look inwards and I'm like, yeah, sometimes the descriptions that I have for these beers kind of make it seem not so appetizing when actually, in fact, it is a beer that actually is pretty damn good there. So now the hops that are used to brew this are, and I've got to go to my cheat sheet here, Citra, Mandarina, Bavaria, and Mosaic hops right there. So, and it pairs well with foods like Thai and Indian dishes there, barbecue, spicy chicken wings, Mexican food. You got sausages, brats, cheese curds, salty snacks like French fries and onion rings, that kind of thing. So yeah, I always like to let you know, of a food that the particular brew I'm reviewing pairs well with, and it pairs well with a lot of food in this. So I mean, that was quite the list I read off to you there. So, but yeah, this Truth in Action IPA comes at us at 7.1 alcohol by volume, and so it's got a little bit of heft to it for a beer, particularly for an IPA. That's kind of a high alcohol by volume for an IPA right there. So, but I am going to recommend this. It's not bad. Okay, it's not bad enough for me not to recommend it there. And I'm not getting any money from Central Waters Brewing Company whatsoever. Totally above board. Is a totally above board review. Totally objective. If it tasted like dog crap, I'd tell you. Okay. But anyway, enough of me yapping about it. I'm going to take another drink off this bad boy here. Not bad. Not bad. Now, it's called Truth in Action here. So I don't know. I mean, it's one thing about like microbrewers of beer and that kind of thing. A lot of times they're kind of on the hippie side, okay, where all their expertise, like 99% of their brain power goes into their beer brewing, which leaves a lowly 1% for everything else that they have to think about in life. And so, they start their takes on things in life are yeah, kind of, I don't know, dumb, whatever. So there might be a bunch of hippies that made this, but it's pretty good beer. I will give it to them. That 99% of their brain working on brewing this beer, working pretty well. So there you go. And you could probably get your hands on this beer via like an app on your phone, like the Open Bar app, which I think is out there now for Android as well, I believe. And then, or Uber Eats, if you're in an area where you can get this delivered to you, Uber Eats will hook you up there. All right. So they don't just deliver you your Taco Bell, they will deliver you booze as well. Or you can go to like gopuff.com, as in Puff the Magic Dragon. So gopuff.com if you want to get your hands on this brew right here. So, but anyway, I feel everyone's eyes glazing over. So let's wrap up this brew review time. Okay, let me do this here real quick. I just want to turn your attention to something right here that I think you're going to be quite pleased right there, especially if you need some new gear or something like that right there. And let's do this here. I'll show you this. So here we go. We got the Movies America merch store here. So, and I didn't want to rob you of the opportunity to come to the Movies America merch store here. And I should mention here real quick from the top that the link to this page here is down in the description there for this show. But yeah, I just want to show you this so you know that, hey, you know what, if you're enjoying the show so much where you want to get your hands on some Movies America merch, well, you know what? Get ready to be happy because we do have a wave of that there for you. And so first off, what we got up the top is this Big Mugs camo trucker hat there with the Movies America, with the Big Mugs Movies America logo on there. Now, in full disclosure, there is no purple on this hat here, which I was disappointed in as well. But it is what it is there. But everything else that we see here down below it looks exactly like it looks like here on the website, except for with the exception of this camo trucker hat. But everything else will come to you as you see in the pictures. But yeah, we have like our Big Mugs Movies America logo attire here, t-shirts and baseball tees, and got a wife beater tank top there, and the hoodies and windbreakers as well. If you're a fitness enthusiast and you can pull off wearing a sports bra and looking like that, then by all means get your Big Mugs sports bra there. And we got some more hats as well. We got the Hollyweird Movies America logo there, of course, on t-shirts and tank tops and hoodies and all of that. And then we're getting down to my favorite Movies America logo, and that is the Black Adam version of the Movies America logo right here. We got them all on the t-shirts and the wife beater down here as well. And then also you might be saying, hey, Van, that's great, but I got all the clothes I need, man. You should see my closet there, Van. It is bursting at the seams. I don't need any more clothes, but you know what? I do like some coffee, or I do like the occasional beer. Can you hook me up there, brother, with a glass? Well, brother, I can. Okay. All right. You've come to the right place. We've got coffee mugs here. We've got pint glasses. Got this Big Mugs can-shaped glass right there. Got the koozie to keep your beverages cool. We got a stainless steel koozie here, and we got these desk mats here as well. So yeah, get your hands on this merch right here, and also it makes all this merch makes great gifts as well. And also if you are like if you buy like some gear for yourself or for somebody else, Movies America gear is like a good conversation starter because I've worn like my Movies America hat out, and it's been at least a couple times where I've had somebody ask me like, "Hey, Movies America, that sounds kind of cool. I like saying Movies America. I like that alliteration, which is just to clue you in. That's why I picked the name Movies America for the alliteration. But they like that alliteration to start asking like, "Hey, what is Movies America? What's this all about? Like, what is that?" And it makes a good conversation starter that way. So, but again, just to remind you, the merch link, the link to this merch website is down in the description right there for your convenience. All right. So there we go. And enough of that, everybody. All right. So yeah, get in there and grab yourself some merch. All right. I'm not trying to hog all the merch for myself. There you go. All right, let's move on, everybody. Okay, let's do this here. I want to double check something here. And all right, getting out of that. There we go. Nice. And I've got some more good luck, have fun, don't die to talk about right here. And that is just, I just have, I have a random thought about this. And one of the Black Mirror like sci fi aspects of this movie is the fact that the cloning of people in this world of good luck, have fun, don't die is about as normal as buying a new laptop, because they have a scene where they uh, they have Juno Temple's character, and she's lost her son in a school shooting, and so but she's well aware that and I think she goes to like this support group for parents that have lost somebody in a school shooting here. I know right now you're thinking, wow, that's comedy gold there, Van. Wow, what a hilarious topic for a movie, right? But no, it does kind of fit in with the movie here. But so she goes like to support group for these parents who've lost a loved one, and then from there she learns that hey, there's this business where they can clone your loved one. Okay, and so that's one of the sci-fi kind of Black Mirror episode type aspects of this movie here. And again, like I said, when she gets to the cloning company, cloning somebody is about as easy as buying a new laptop, like I just said here. And basically, uh, the way that is incorporated or is fleshed out is you go to a cloning business and then you get like a cloning genius from the cloning genius bar. So it's like going to the Apple store, right? And you got the people walking around with the tablets right there, and helping you out. They're the geniuses from the genius bar. Well, the cloning business has the equivalent. They're cloning geniuses from the cloning genius bar, and they assist you in trying to create a clone of your loved one here. And so, like I said, they bust out their little tablet and help you develop the personality of the clone. And so, they're asking you questions like, okay, so your dearly departed loved one, like, what are some bad traits they had, and what were some good traits they had, and what were some of the things that they liked, and that kind of thing. And they're helping you pick out these things like bad traits, good traits, interests, all that stuff. Like picking movies or shows that you like when you like first sign up for Netflix or Hulu, right? And they have you do that, just so you get a bead, just so just so Netflix and Hulu or HBO Max gets a bead on what kind of movies and TV shows to push out to you, right? And it's very trippy, how this cloning business works, where you're just going through there, just on their little tablet. Okay, oh, they had a bad temper. Okay, we'll click the bad temper button. Okay, and their good traits. So they could sing. Okay, we'll hit the good singer button right there. And they were very funny. Okay, we'll hit the very funny button right there, and just clicking that on the tablets there at the old at the cloning Apple store, right? And so it's very, very Black Mirror. If you've ever watched the TV series Black Mirror on Netflix there, which if you haven't, I would highly recommend watching Black Mirror here. There is what is that one episode here on Black Mirror here that I would recommend here. Let's do this Black Mirror. Was it Kill the DJ? Is that what it is? Something like that? Black Mirror. We'll do this real quick here, because I want to make sure I get this done right, because I'm not just here to like turn you on or off movies. If there is a TV series that I want to recommend to you, I definitely want to do that here. So that is Hang the DJ. Yeah. So yeah, it's the 4th episode of the 4th season of Black Mirror right there. So Hang the DJ. That's a really good episode right there. It kind of has a sci-fi take on online dating and that kind of thing. So, but there's a lot good episodes of Black Mirror. Black Mirror definitely splashed onto the scene with its very first episode of its first season, like 10 years ago or whatever it came out, with an episode where you sure you've heard about it by now, but it's an episode where the British Prime Minister. Let me back up. So I guess the princess of the British royal family has been kidnapped, and the kidnapper puts a ransom out there, and he doesn't want money, but he says, "Hey, if the British Prime Minister has relations with a pig on TV, and he also has to finish, okay, then the princess will be returned unharmed, okay, and everything will go back to normal." And of course, the British Prime Minister, he's like, "I am not going to do this. There's no way I'm going to do this." And then on top of that, part of that is, he's trying to convince his wife, "Honey, it'll never come to that. It'll never come to that. I will never have to do this. We're so much smarter than this kidnapper. We'll figure something out. We'll find a way to get the princess." And then during the episode, as many politicians do, they have PR people and advisors, and who tell them like, "Hey, your popularity ratings are at this percentage," and so as the episode goes on, and the longer the princess has been gone, and the longer that the prime minister doesn't agree to basically to the deal, okay, the squeal deal, so to speak, they're telling him, "Hey, your approval ratings are going down there," and then and then the episode goes where it goes. But that's the very first episode of the sci-fi anthology series Black Mirror there, and that kind of gives you an idea as far as what we're talking about there with the kind of show that Black Mirror is. And good luck, have fun, don't die. It's kind of got that Black Mirror. It's like a 2 hour and 14 minute episode of Black Mirror here. But anyway, enough about that here. And so let's trudge on here, shall we? Okay. And just to let you guys know here that I have got my other show that I do every week here coming out on this Thursday night. And that is called Movies America Spoiler Warning. And so if you haven't picked up on it quite yet, I try to avoid spoilers on this Sunday show that you're watching, Movies America Live. But on Thursday night, I'm not going to worry if I drop a spoiler or two or 200 on Thursday night. It's okay. Now, that's not to say I'm going to go out of my way to drop spoilers on this Thursday show, but I'm also not going to be biting my fingernails off and walking on eggshells and and chugging the Pepto-Bismol, worrying about not spoiling the show. If not spoiling the movie, I should say. Now, if I drop a spoiler on Thursday night, I'm not going to worry about it. But that's why I put spoiler warning in the title there, so that you guys are well aware and have a heads up well ahead of time. That if you watch the show, there's going to be spoilers right there. Now, if you've seen the movie, then by all means, join me, have the volume on. Let's talk about this movie here. Let's check it out. And let's talk it out. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a dialogue. There we go. What's that they say nowadays about about politics? Like, I just want to have a conversation about it. Okay, there we go. So we'll have a conversation this Thursday night about good luck, have fun, don't die. Okay, on the Movies America Spoiler Warning show. And I should probably tell you what time it comes on Thursday, don't you think? Yeah, probably not the dumbest idea in the world. So on Thursday night, it comes on at 7 Eastern, 6 Central, 5 Mountain, and 4 Pacific time. And I love it if you guys join me there. Now, one thing I do request there, because there's a lot of people that, by the time the Thursday show comes on, they haven't seen the movie, okay? Because I don't know if you've heard the word, but not a lot of people go to the theaters anymore, okay? All right. And so it's not like if I did this show 25 years ago where people were still jumping in their cars and going to the theater, and Netflix was still that thing where you had to like get movies through the mail and all that stuff. It wasn't streaming. We had no Netflix streaming, no Hulu, no HBO Max, no nothing, right? People still went to the movies, right? And I could do a show like this on Sunday and count on that there's probably a pretty good percentage of people that went to the movie and saw it before my Thursday show. But this is 2026 right there, and nope. I think theaters, unfortunately, are going to go the way of the Velociraptor here eventually, and that doesn't make me happy. But that's the reality, right? And so a lot of times I'll say all of that to say this, that the chances of someone watching watching this movie before Thursday and not having to worry about the movie being spoiled, pretty low, very, 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 very low. Like the chances of me like being able to date Heidi Klum, that kind of low, okay, or me dating somebody like Olivia Rodrigo or something like that. So, which are probably a lot of you are like, oh, what the? You're old enough to be your dad, man. Okay, so point is very low. Okay. And so if that's you and you don't want the movie spoiled when my Thursday show comes on, what you can do is you can have the show on, but just mute it. Just mute the volume right there and just check that out. And then also, like, and that's what I do with a lot of shows. Like my man Lindy Rigg, who's rated the show right here. That's what I do with this show a lot of times. Is if I, because Lindy Rigg 87, if you look him up on Rumble, he's got all kinds of content. And in order to, help my brother out there, I'll turn his show on. And if I don't have a chance to engage with it, live actively or that kind of thing, or if I'm doing something else, I'll turn his show on and I'll just mute it. There you go. And he still gets the credit for the watch minutes. I'll hit the like button on his show and that kind of thing. And so that's one thing you can do is even by Thursday, if you haven't seen this movie, okay, because it's not going to be on streaming by that time. Okay. Go ahead and just click on the link to fire up this show on Thursday night. And then just mute the show. And what I do is I'll turn on a show and I'll put it like on a laptop on my back room or on my computer, somewhere else in my place, and then just mute it there. And very simple, very easy. And then after you've seen the movie, okay, then watch the show with the volume on and check that out there. So, but check it out on Thursday there. All about good luck, have fun, don't die there. But and I would see this movie at the theater. I'll just put that out there right now. I would see it at the theater, okay, because it's well worth. It's good enough to support and send a message to Hollywood that we want more original content. We want more original movies right there. Okay, we don't want rehash crap all the time. I mean, some of the time there's room for it. There's a call for rehash sequels, prequels, requels, that kind of thing. I mean, because some of them are good. But we want some original stuff every once in a while, like Send Help. That came out a couple weeks ago. That was an original movie. I recommended you guys go see that. This week, I'm recommending that you go see this movie. Good luck, have fun, don't die. Here to send the message to Hollywood, because the only language that Hollywood speaks is dollars, straight up cash, homie. Okay, and if you spend your money on streaming and not in the theaters, then that tells them that all right. Let's plant the C4 charges on all the theaters, and blammo, they're all gone. And now you don't get to watch movies on a big old movie screen anymore with a big old sound system that I guarantee is better than what you have at home. I don't care how many thousands of dollars you spend on your sound system at home. There you go. All right, but there we go. Enough about that, but I just wanted to throw that in there to let you know about the Thursday show, everybody. There we go. All right. Let's move on. All right, I'm getting thirsty again here. So, and I'm gonna grab another drink off this. But yeah, Lindy Rigg and everybody else that's rated in here, whoever is checking this out. Feel free to get in the live chat. And if you're drinking, hey, let me know what you're drinking. And also, if you want to just let me know. Hey, what's the best movie you've seen lately? There we go. Very easy question, but here we go. All right, good stuff there. All right, so now we're to the segment of every Movies America live show, the Sunday show that I do, where I let you guys know, is the movie for this week a woke after school special, okay? Now, that might not mean that phrase woke after school special might not mean a whole lot to a certain set of generations. Okay, if you're Gen X, Gen Y, or not Gen X, but Gen Y or Gen Alpha or whatever. You're like, I have no idea what an after school special is. Is that the name of a Sabrina Carpenter album? Or something like that. So I was hesitating there because I was about to say a Sabrina Carpenter LP. A Sabrina Carpenter record. Is that something from a Sabrina Carpenter 8-track? But no, it has nothing to do with Sabrina Carpenter, or Madison Beer, or any of these singers from nowadays. All right, After School Special is a relic from back in the 70s and the 80s, and an After School Special were these TV shows that would come on, of course, after school when you get home after school, like 3:30 or whatever it was, and you'd rush in in your house. I'm like, Mom, I want to watch some TV. Hey, can I have some Sunny D? And you go to watch TV after you get home from school, and you expect to see like Gilligan's Island or Dukes of Hazzard or something like that, and instead it's an after school special. What after school specials were like these half-hour shows where it taught kids lessons like don't smoke cigarettes, don't do drugs, you know, don't get into that van with no windows when Lindy Rig pulls up, to your house. Just kidding, Lindy Rig. Don't do stuff that's bad for you, right? But they were always like really, really corny. Okay, very corny, even for that time. Okay, I can't imagine how they would play nowadays, but they're very corny, and so it was the idea, the spirit of it was, they were in the right place, their heart was in the right place, but they just didn't stick the landing. It was just so corny. So that's what an after school special is, for all you young whippersnappers out there that doesn't know what an after school special is. Okay, all right. But now, what I want to let you guys know is this week's movie, is it a woke after school special? Is it a movie where it's not very entertaining? It's very corny and very wokey. And it's not interested at all in entertaining you. It's interested 110% in lecturing you and banging you over the head with the message. Okay. And so is Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die? Is it a woke after school special? Well, I have to say, it comes close to it from it featuring the topic of school shootings. However, it doesn't get preachy about school shootings and try to sway, you to one side or another on the topic. Okay. It just happens that in this movie, there is a school shooting. Okay. And so again, it doesn't bang you over the head with, what they want you to think about school shootings. They don't suddenly stop the movie, to play some video with a Democrat screeching about how a magical gun law will stop all school shootings. I mean, because as we all know, anyone who would shoot up a school would totally respect the gun law and not shoot up a school if we could just pass the perfect gun law. To its credit, though, I can't think of any other place in this movie where it tries to infect viewers with any kind of woke, okay? So thank God for small miracles here. But that's the thing about this movie. It's just it's a world where school shootings happen so often, where they have a scene where they have teachers in a school, obviously, okay, and all of a sudden this alarm goes off. It's like, and and so somebody's like, "Hey, what is that? Is that like a fire alarm or something like that?" And the teacher goes, "Nah, it's just another school shooting." And then they all like run into some safety bunker or something like that, And that's what we're talking about in this movie is they're portraying like school shootings happen all the time there. So yeah, I don't know, but anyway, so that's why they have the cloning businesses, because school shootings happen all the time and that kind of thing. So, and I'm going to have more to say about the school shooting aspect of this movie on Thursday night when I can spoil some stuff and that kind of thing, because yeah, with what I want to say about the school shooting aspect about this movie, I am going to have to drop some spoilers about that whole aspect of this movie. So that is the time for that is not today, okay? Because this is a spoiler-free show, Movies America. live right there. So there we go. And hey, I got some wisdom from Lindy Reg right here. It's like, I promise if I show up to your house in a white windowless van, get it or get in, we are going to have so much fun right there. So kids, don't listen to him. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay. Even if he's dressed like a clown and hi, I'm Lucky the Clown. Come on in. There's all kinds of free candy. Like, don't get into the windowless van, kids. Don't do it. All right. All right. You might drive into Joe Biden's house or something like that. And that's when things get really scary. Okay. There you go. He won't just sniff you. I'll just put it that way. All right. So, what should we do right now? Now that I have done the Lord's work and let you know if this movie is a woke after school special there. So I gotta do that. I gotta help my fellow man out with everything here. So, but there we go. And just trying to get my ducks in a row over here. If you couldn't tell it, I'm not trying to multitask and all that stuff right here. But all right, let's press on with Movies America Live. Okay, so I don't know what that was all about there. I think it's my iffy internet here today with that little buffering right there, if you guys saw that. But right now, I just want to remind you that, hey, if you guys are appreciating what I'm doing right now, I'm warning you whether a movie sucks or if it's awesome or other things like if a movie is a woke after school special. If you appreciate, that little effort that I'm putting in to do that enough to, maybe throw me a buck or two or whatever. Well, I'm just going to show you how you can do that. It's very simple. So on Rumble, if you're watching via Rumble, you just got to go to the live chat window. And then down by where you type in your live chat message, there's a button with a $sign on it. And then you just got to click on that. And it'll just ask you how much, cashola you want to direct towards this guy right here. And a buck or two or however much you got. And then that's it. It's very simple, very easy. Okay. So, and then on YouTube, it's uncanny. It is almost unnerving how similarly the process is. So if you're on the tube of views or YouTube, in the live chat window, down by where you type in your live chat message, down in the very bottom of that, there's a button with a dollar bill on it. You just click on that dollar bill button. It'll pop up another window asking you how much, dinero you want to send to Senior Ebert over here. And again, that's it. That's it. That's simple, very easy right there. And, I get it. I mean, I only throw, any money my way only if you, legitimately think I deserve it right there. Because I'll watch people's shows and they'll ask for that, ask for money. And I'll be like, no, you just didn't earn it today. Just didn't do it. Okay. And that kind of thing. So I totally am not going to guilt trip you into that. I am not going to be that guy. Okay. Because I'd have to kick my own ass if I was that guy. I go, if you watch my show, you should give me some money. I mean, how pathetic is that, right? That's so sad. It's so pathetic. So I am not going to be that guy whatsoever. Okay. So, and on that note, so my final thoughts on Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die is I would go check this out at the theater. It's good enough. It's R-rated. Okay, it's got some bloody violence. It's got language in it there. So, don't take the urchins to it. Don't take the kiddos to it there. Although it wouldn't be the worst movie to take them. It wouldn't be the worst R-rated movie to take them to. I mean, like, it's not like you took them to a Terrifier or something like that. That would be a very bad R-rated movie to take your kids to. So, can you say $50,000 in child's psychology or psychotherapy right there? So there you go. But I would go check out this movie. Sam Rockwell is funny enough in this movie. He's going to hold your attention. It's got a cool enough premise to it. If you like The Matrix, it's got a lot of kind of Matrix in it as well. I'll get into more of that on Thursday night too, with the similarities between this movie and The Matrix, okay, and all of that stuff there. So we'll go full kind of just go over there. I'll go over that kind of background on Thursday night right there. So just fire up the old jalopy and go to the theater and check out some Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. And that's my final thoughts on that movie right there. So and real quick here before we wrap up the show, because we are almost at the end here. A lot of you are probably like, thank God. Okay. So, But just want to let you guys know that, hey, I'm on, I'm on X under @MoviesAmerica. I'm on Rumble. If you try to find Movies America on Rumble, there's like 3 Movies America accounts. So if you do, when you find the 3 Movies America accounts, go ahead and hit that follow and or subscribe button on there, on all 3 of them there. If you would, okay, that'd be fantastic. Like as far as my account on X, yeah, get on there and follow me on X there, or friend me or like me or whatever it is, yeah, that you do on there. And then, I've got a bunch of stupid little movies related posts on X there. And so, yeah, get on there and, if you want to like those or, re-quote them or whatever, or quote tweet them or whatever you want to do, by all means. I'm also on Facebook as well. I've got a Movies America page group on Facebook. And then I also, I've got my Van Ebert account on Facebook there. I'm on Gab. I'm on Instagram under Movies America, of course. So, yeah, go ahead and follow me on those if you would. That'd be fantastic. That costs you absolutely no money whatsoever, and it costs you about 0.03 seconds to click the follow button on those platforms right there. And then if you want, hey, let me know if what platforms you follow me on via, like, say, direct messaging me on my X account under @MoviesAmerica. If you don't know how to direct message somebody on X, it's just a matter of going to their account. And then kind of up towards the top there's an envelope little button there. Some people have that turned off if they're big time. Okay. But I am not big time. Okay, there you go. I know it's hard to believe, but I still have my direct messaging option turned on there. You don't have to buy anything to message me. But yeah, get in there and message me. Say, hey, Van, I followed you on this platform and that platform and that platform. And here's my user ID. And then I will follow you back right there, because you would scratch my back. I'm going to scratch yours. And I mean that in the most non-sexual way possible. Okay, there we go. So enough about following and all that stuff. I know I can feel people going to sleep when I talk about that. That is for sure. But yeah, go ahead and check out some of my buddies. Some other shows I want to refer you to here on Rumble there. Got my man Lindy Rig 87 who's in the live chat. Just search up Lindy Rig 87 on Rumble and you'll see his great content on there. You'll like his content, especially if you're a gamer. All right. Because video gaming is the thing on streaming nowadays. So 30 years ago, it was movies, right? Not that there was streaming 30 years ago, but imagine that there was. 30 years ago, movies would have been where it's at. Nowadays, all right, movies are phonograph, radio, and that kind of thing. So, and video games is where it's at now. And my man, Lindy Rig 87, is wisely, all right, tapped into that. So there you go. Look for Sean Cav. So SHAWNCAV. So Sean Cav on there. And then look for anything from the Till Death Podcast Network, like the Whiskey Capitalist Podcast Show or Till Death Podcast there as well on Rumble. So check all of that out right there. There you go. All right, so we're getting ready to wrap up this episode here, but I just want to thank everybody for checking out the show here, especially my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics out there. And so, as I always say, people, get out there, people. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya. Howdy, my movie maniacs and my fellow freedom-fueled film fanatics. Would you do me a favor and check me out at solo.to/moviesmerica? That's where you would go for a one-stop shop for all the links that have to do with me, Movies Merica. And then also, if you want to check out the audio-only podcast versions of my Movies Merica live episodes, that's my spoiler-free reviews that I do on Sunday, you can go to moviesmerica.com or Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, places like that. And then, actually, if you would also check me out on the social media sites like X and Instagram and Facebook and Gab. And I'm on those locations all under @MoviesMerica. So it is very easy to find me out there, all right? So get to it, everybody. All right, thanks for watching. Later.
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got the Popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'll be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right. Thanks for watching.